Perhaps you've often felt exhausted from constantly saying yes to things your soul truly wants to refuse. You sacrifice your time, energy, and inner peace just to please others or avoid disappointment. But do you realize that every time you allow someone to cross your boundaries, you are gradually losing focus and inner strength, the essential elements to living in alignment with the purpose you were meant for? 2025 is not the year for you to continue shrinking yourself or living to appease others. This is the year for you to set boundaries, respect your time, and boldly stand up for your own path. As Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, any person capable of angering you becomes your master. He can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him. This statement reminds us that true freedom begins within, from the ability to say no to things that hinder growth and step into the true meaning of life. Let 2025 be the year you live fully with purpose and strength. By applying lessons from Stoic philosophy, you will learn to preserve your energy, regain focus, and embark on the journey you were destined for. This is not just an invitation to live more wisely, but also a journey back to yourself. Number 1. Overcoming the fear of losing people. In a world where we are often torn between pleasing others and staying true to ourselves, overcoming the fear of losing someone becomes an act of profound self-respect. Being true to oneself means ceasing to say yes when every fiber of your being is urging you to say no. It is a conscious choice to honor your truth over seeking approval from others. While it is natural to want to avoid conflict, constantly suppressing your true feelings gradually erodes your sense of self, leaving you perpetually chasing others' validation at the expense of inner peace. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This advice encourages us to embrace our individuality even if it leads to criticism or misunderstanding. You were not created to blend into the crowd, but to stand out with your unique talents, ideas, and gifts bestowed by a higher power. Recognizing this divine purpose brings courage, empowering you to act boldly in alignment with your mission, regardless of external opinions. A clear example of this is found in Adam's personal relationships. Adam had a habit of always agreeing to weekend gatherings with friends, even when he genuinely needed time to rest or reflect. Over the years, Adam began to feel exhausted and resentful, realizing that he had prioritized others' expectations over his own needs. One day, Adam decided to say no to an invitation, explaining that he needed time to recharge. The initial reaction was surprise, even disappointment from his friends. However, over time, Adam noticed a significant shift. By asserting his needs, he attracted relationships built on mutual respect and distanced himself from connections rooted in compliance. The fear of losing someone often stems from a false belief that our worth is tied to how much others like or agree with us. However, true value is not swayed by external opinions. It is rooted in a higher mission. When you understand that your worth comes from God, not human approval, you gain the confidence to make decisions aligned with your goals. This mindset shifts your focus from pleasing others to pleasing God, enabling you to be both courageous and at peace. Remember, growth often requires changes in relationships. Some people will resist or dislike your growth, perceiving your newfound confidence as a threat. This resistance reflects not your worth, but their discomfort with change. Letting go of relationships that no longer support your growth can be painful, but it is often necessary to protect your peace and stay true to your mission. Surrounding yourself with people who celebrate your progress rather than hinder it is essential. For personal development, prioritizing personal growth is not an accidental process. It requires deliberate effort and commitment. Whether it's dedicating time to pursue a long-forgotten passion, seeking knowledge to enhance your skills, or simply setting boundaries to nurture your mental health, investing in yourself sends a clear message. Your dreams and growth are non-negotiable. In doing so, you inspire others to respect your journey and may even encourage them to embark on their own. Faith in God plays a vital role in overcoming the fear of losing others. When you believe that God has a plan for you, you no longer need reassurance from those around you. This faith allows you to move forward confidently, knowing that the right relationships will remain, and those that no longer serve your purpose will naturally fade away. Ultimately, overcoming the fear of losing others is a declaration of self-worth. By honoring your truth, prioritizing growth, and trusting in a higher mission, you gain the courage to live an authentic and fulfilling life. In doing so, you embody the strength and wisdom of Stoic philosophy, like calm, confidence, and steadfastness in the face of change. Number 2. building self-worth and confidence. As we step into 2025, it's time to prioritize building self-worth and confidence by setting boundaries, valuing personal growth, and learning to say no in a manner that is both tactful and powerful. Maturity doesn't happen by chance. It requires conscious effort and clear commitment. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This principle reminds us that self-worth begins with mastering our own inner world. By dedicating time and energy to investing in ourselves, we lay the foundation for lasting confidence. However, prioritizing growth is not just about setting goals. It's about trusting that every small step brings us closer to the life we are meant to pursue. So how do we progress on this path? Not through haste, but through consistency. What matters is not the speed, but the persistence to act every day. Imagine that each day is a new opportunity to grow stronger, learn a bit more, and cultivate inner resilience. Think of it as building a house. Each carefully placed brick gradually completes the structure. Similarly, small daily actions like journaling, meditating, or learning something new form the sturdy foundation for self-worth. As we focus on personal development, one critical skill emerges: the ability to say no. For many, this is challenging. Society often associates saying yes with kindness and cooperation, but learning to say no is one of the most powerful ways to protect your energy and self-worth. Steve Jobs serves as an exemplary figure. He was renowned for his decisive no, even to promising ideas in order to concentrate on what truly mattered. During Apple's product development, Jobs frequently cut projects that he believed didn't align with the company's long-term vision. Through his ability to set boundaries and prioritize objectives, he not only turned Apple into one of the world's leading tech companies, but also shaped the global perception of innovation. For Jobs, saying no wasn't about rejecting opportunities, it was about affirming focus on what held the greatest value. What happens when we say yes to things that don't serve us? Every time we say yes unnecessarily, we trade away time and energy that could have been used for rest, growth, or pursuing meaningful opportunities. Helping others is admirable, but when it comes at the cost of your own well-being, it leads to burnout and resentment. Ask yourself, am I saying yes because I genuinely want to, or because I fear the consequences of saying no? This is where boundaries come into play. Boundaries are not walls, they are structures that protect your peace. Without them, others might unintentionally or deliberately overstep, leaving you drained. Saying no firmly but politely communicates your limits while maintaining the relationship. Remember, those who truly value you will respect your boundaries, while those who don't may not be worth your time and energy. Setting boundaries isn't about pushing others away, it's about preserving your ability to live in alignment with your values. For many people, guilt often arises when saying no. We worry about disappointing others or appearing selfish. But the truth is, you are not responsible for managing other people's emotions. By prioritizing your goals and mission, you set a powerful example of self-respect. Saying no doesn't mean you don't care, it means you care enough about yourself to protect your energy and values. This is an act of courage, reinforcing your sense of self-worth. Kindness grounded in honesty is far more powerful than blind compliance. When you decline requests that don't align with your priorities, you respect both yourself and others through honesty. This kind of kindness fosters mutual respect and builds deeper relationships. True kindness isn't about always saying yes. It's about showing up for others as your best self, balanced, confident, and whole. Once you've built your self-worth and learned to set boundaries, another challenge emerges: the inner critical voice. That self-doubting voice often resurfaces, questioning your decisions and progress. In the next lesson, we'll explore how to transform that voice into a source of motivation. What if the voice holding you back became the voice pushing you forward? Stay tuned to discover how. Number 3, silence the inner critic and replace negative self-talk. Stop being too nice is not just a call to action, but also a powerful reminder that to live a purposeful life, we must learn to set boundaries and listen to ourselves rather than letting inner negativity take control. Saying no is an art that requires both subtlety and decisiveness. It is not a selfish act, but a way to protect your time, energy, and values. When you decline an invitation or request that doesn't align with your goals, you empower yourself to focus on what truly matters. Imagine a meeting where all eyes are on you as you calmly reject a project that doesn't fit your objectives. A confident look and a polite yet firm refusal can help others understand that you respect yourself, which in turn earns you their respect. A practical example is Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors in history. He once shared that his success came from knowing how to say no to almost everything, allowing him to focus entirely on opportunities that truly mattered. Buffett understood that agreeing to every request would dilute his focus and leave him without the energy for strategic decisions. We all go through phases when we need silence and focus to heal or grow. If you are in such a phase, ask yourself, will this invitation bring me closer to my goals? If the answer is no, don't hesitate to decline. Saying no is not just about protecting your time. It is also about safeguarding the sacred calling from God or the grand purpose of your life. When you know how to say no, you not only avoid burnout but also create space for the right opportunities. Overcommitting and taking on too many responsibilities can lead to exhaustion, a loss of focus and diminished creative inspiration. On the other hand, timely refusals help you maintain energy and emotional balance and move closer to inner peace. Many people, especially those who strive to please others, often feel guilty when they say no. But remember this, saying no does not diminish your value in others' eyes. On the contrary, it shows that you have clarity about your values and goals. One of the crucial steps in silencing the inner critic is distancing yourself from toxic relationships. Manipulative, negative, or envious individuals can significantly impact your mindset and emotions. Reflect on situations in your life where you found it difficult to say no. How did you overcome it? Share your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear your stories. Number 4. Why saying no is essential for your growth. Before we dive deeper into Lesson 4, let's explore the story of Ian, a freelance graphic designer who is facing two choices. On one hand, he has an offer from a major client asking him to work overnight to complete a relatively unimportant project that would still bring in a significant income. On the other hand, there is the promise he made to his family to spend the weekend playing with his children and helping his wife prepare dinner. Ian knows that saying yes to the client means breaking his promise to his family and moving further away from his goal of achieving a balance between work and life. However, if he says no, he fears losing the opportunity for long-term collaboration. This is a decisive moment, and Ian's answer will shape not only the immediate outcome, but also how he protects his values and energy in the future. Stoic philosophy reminds us, he who is not master of himself is a slave. Saying no may seem simple, but it is a powerful tool for setting boundaries, a necessary condition for sustainable personal growth, and for striving toward greater life goals. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It is an act of love for yourself and others. By establishing boundaries, you protect your time and energy from unnecessary distractions. It allows you to prioritize what truly matters, family, personal goals, and the values you cherish. When Ian declined the client's offer, he not only preserved time for his family, but also upheld his personal dignity and self-respect. This decision helped him foster relationships built on mutual understanding rather than feelings of exploitation. When you continuously say yes to every demand, the price you pay is exhaustion. Over time, your spirit weakens, leading to frustration and a sense of being lost. People like Ian, who don't learn to say no, risk being trapped in a cycle of fatigue and overload. In such cases, they not only miss opportunities to listen to their inner calling, but also lose focus on long-term goals. Time is the most valuable resource. Once it's gone, it cannot be recovered. By protecting your time, you teach those around you to value and respect you. This not only helps you focus on critical goals, but also gives you the opportunity to grow and develop. For Ian, choosing to protect his weekend for his family helped him build a strong mental foundation, enabling him to progress further in both work and life. To develop the habit of setting boundaries, start with the following steps. Listen to yourself. Ask, does this truly matter for my long-term goals? Say no with confidence. Remember, declining is not rejection but a conscious choice. Invest your time in meaningful pursuits, dedicate time to growth, learning and connecting with your life's purpose. Ultimately, Ian chose to keep his promise to his family. Instead of feeling guilty, he experienced peace knowing he was on the right path. When we learn to say no, we not only protect ourselves, but also open up growth opportunities both spiritually and physically. In 2025, let's practice the art of saying no as a powerful declaration of self-worth and personal values. Number 5. The power of setting boundaries. In a world that often equates kindness with self-sacrifice, setting boundaries becomes an act of courage and a declaration of self-respect. Boundaries are not about pushing others away, but about creating a framework that protects your time, energy, and peace. They are a powerful declaration, enabling you to prioritize what truly matters and align your life with the divine purpose God has set for you. Contrary to common misconceptions, boundaries are not walls isolating you from the world. Instead, they function as selectively open gates, allowing only the right people and opportunities into your life. Take the story of Finn, a passionate artist who always prioritized the needs of his friends and family, often at the expense of his creativity. One day, Finn realized his energy was depleted and his artwork, a reflection of his soul, was suffering. He decided to establish clear boundaries. His studio hours became sacred and weekends were reserved for rest. Some criticized him, calling him selfish, but Finn discovered these boundaries transformed his life. His art flourished, his confidence grew, and he finally felt aligned with his true purpose. Finn's story reminds us that boundaries are not selfish. They are an act of love for both yourself and others. When you honor your time, you celebrate the person God created, strong, confident, and purposeful. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is essential. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Instead of apologizing for prioritizing your needs, embrace the opportunity to align your life with God's plan. He designed you to thrive, not just survive. By setting boundaries, you create space to grow, explore yourself, and fulfill your divine potential. Many people fall into a cycle of exhaustion trying to please others. Seeking approval may offer temporary satisfaction, but it often leads to emptiness and a disconnection from your true self. Living for others' acceptance forces you to bend to their expectations, veering away from the unique path God has laid out for you. Remember, you can't please everyone all the time. Criticism is inevitable. Even the most sincere actions will face disagreement from some. Instead of chasing fleeting human approval, anchor yourself in God's eternal and unconditional approval. When you let go of the need to be liked, you step into true freedom. Letting go doesn't mean being indifferent to others. It means being confident in God's plan and unmoved by human criticism. This freedom allows you to take risks, pursue dreams, and face challenges without fear of judgment. The pursuit of pleasing others is exhausting. It forces you to compromise your values, abandon your own standards, and stray from your goals. Returning to Finn's story, before he set boundaries, his life was dominated by others' demands. The more he tried to please, the more he lost his connection to his art and his joy. But when he prioritized his purpose, his relationships improved, and he inspired those around him by living authentically. In 2025, stop being too kind at the expense of your dreams and peace. Instead, master the art of setting boundaries as a tool for self-respect, personal growth, and alignment with your divine purpose. Live boldly, not to seek human approval, but to fulfill the divine plan God has for you. Number 6. Recognizing and letting go of toxic relationships. Imagine yourself as a boat drifting in the vast ocean. Every relationship in life is an anchor. Some anchors keep you stable, holding you steady against the waves. But there are also anchors that, despite seeming secure at first, gradually drag you deeper into the ocean of stagnation, suffering, and disorientation. In your journey of personal growth in 2025, it's time to recognize and let go of these toxic anchors to move forward. Growth doesn't happen by chance. It requires persistent effort, much like rowing a boat out to sea. To reach the potential that God has placed within you, you need to devote your full focus and commitment to the path ahead. Toxic relationships, those who doubt, criticize, or pull you away from your goals, are the greatest obstacles. Letting go of them is not an act of selfishness, but a sign of respect for the grand mission you are undertaking. Freeing yourself from people who no longer align with you is the first step to prioritizing yourself. You cannot learn, improve, and become the best version of yourself if you continue to endure outdated lifestyles and constant criticism. Positive relationships will nurture new habits, fresh motivation, and a new life. Remember, every time you choose yourself over negativity, you move closer to your goals. One of the biggest challenges in cutting off toxic relationships is the fear of being judged or isolated. But remember, your journey of growth is yours alone. No one has the right to determine what's right or wrong for your life except you. Focus on each small step you're taking and take pride in your progress. Every correct decision is a victory, even if it's not acknowledged by others. Letting go often comes with fears of loneliness, losing cherished memories, or even facing the truth. Yet, it is in that uncertainty that you will discover your inner strength. Stepping out of your comfort zone to reject what no longer serves you is a profound act of self-respect. When you learn to say no, you create space for better things to come into your life. A toxic relationship not only affects your emotions, but also drains your mental and physical energy. When you take responsibility for your surroundings, you actively choose the people and energy that help you thrive. By surrounding yourself with inspiring individuals, you'll find the encouragement to stay patient and persistent and take steady steps on your journey. Every action you take for self-improvement not only enhances your own life, but also positively impacts those around you. By letting go of toxic relationships, you create space for yourself to become a source of inspiration and leadership, fulfilling the purpose God has placed within you. A person steadfast in self-respect is a guiding light for those who are lost. Let's share. Have you ever struggled to let go of a toxic relationship? How did that action change your life? Leave a comment. Your story could be the very motivation someone else needs. Number 7, embrace imperfection and take action. Sometimes excessive kindness and unnecessary humility trap us in toxic relationships, where our personal value is diminished and our energy drained. Kindness that goes unappreciated in such relationships not only hurts our spirit, but also hinders personal growth. As we step into 2025, let's learn to let go of perfection, confront unhealthy relationships, and take action to protect our self-esteem. Toxic relationships often disguise themselves as supportive or companionable in the beginning. Over time, however, they reveal their true nature through manipulative behaviors, control, or jealousy. Subtle criticisms or actions that make you feel guilty gradually erode your confidence, leaving you anxious and confused. As a result, you may lack the energy or will to pursue truly meaningful goals in your life. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." This quote reminds us that instead of seeking validation in toxic relationships, we should focus on becoming the best version of ourselves, where we hold the reins of our own life. Take Sarah's story for example. She was an ambitious designer who found herself in a relationship where her partner constantly belittled her abilities and blamed her whenever things went wrong. At first, Sarah thought he was trying to help her improve. Over time, however, she realized that his criticisms were aimed at making her doubt herself, keeping her trapped in her comfort zone. Sarah decided to confront her fear of loneliness and let go of the relationship. Starting over was challenging at first, but as time went on, she discovered that her decision opened doors to more meaningful connections and allowed her to achieve great milestones in her career. Not only did Sarah reclaim her self-esteem, but she also found renewed faith in her own worth. Letting go is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to inner strength. Set clear boundaries, protect your emotional and mental space, and remember that forgiveness, though difficult, is the best way to free yourself from resentment and move forward. Faith and trust in God play a vital role in the healing journey. God wants you to experience relationships filled with love, peace, and purpose. Trust that He will guide you towards something better, as long as you dare to let go of what is unhealthy. Once you have learned to let go and take action, the next lesson will guide you to a higher dimension. On this journey, how do you learn to embrace challenges as God's gifts and trust that every step, no matter how difficult, carries meaning? The answer lies in the next chapter, where the power of faith and self-belief unite to unlock a brighter future. Get ready to move forward. Number 8. Trusting your plan and your own journey. We have often been too concerned with the thoughts of others, tormented by the emotional burdens of the past, or fearful of external judgments. However, the key to truly living freely, happily, and successfully lies in trusting our own plan and personal journey. Freeing ourselves from the past is the first and most important step. Past events and wounds can sometimes become invisible chains that trap us in negative emotions. However, this does not mean we must remain in that suffering forever. Remember that change is a journey that starts with ourselves. The purpose of freeing ourselves is not for others, but for our own benefit, to heal toxic relationships and open the door to a brighter future. We need to understand that we cannot change those who have hurt us, and there is no need to force them to change. Change must come from within the person, and we cannot control or impose it upon them. However, we can completely change ourselves, focusing on protecting ourselves and developing personally, rather than trying to change others. An important aspect of this journey is building positive relationships. The people you choose to accompany you in life can profoundly influence your thoughts, habits, and mindset. Surround yourself with those who truly support, inspire, and respect your values. Every relationship can contribute to personal growth, so choose carefully and wisely. Confidence without regret is an essential part of building a full and complete life. Confidence is not an innate trait, but the result of a long process of developing trust in yourself and your own worth. Living confidently does not mean you are never afraid or never face difficulties, but rather it means being willing to stand firm with yourself, your decisions, and your choices, without regret or worry about the judgments of others. Overcoming fear and judgment is the only way for us to move closer to our true potential. Judgment will always exist, but we have the right to choose how we view it, not as a barrier, but as a challenge to make us stronger. There is no need for validation from others. You do not need to seek acceptance from the outside to affirm your worth. You have already been accepted by God, and that is the most important thing. Autonomy comes from action, not from seeking praise or recognition from those around you. Embrace challenges and overcome obstacles, and you will find yourself growing stronger each day. Avoiding comparison is one of the most important things when you truly want to live confidently and happily. Comparison is the greatest enemy of confidence, and when we fall into this trap, we only weaken ourselves. Instead of comparing, focus on your own actions and on the small steps you take every day to move closer to your goals and values. A representative example of trusting your own journey is the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before achieving phenomenal success, Rowling went through countless challenges in life. From divorce and living in poverty, to being rejected by many publishers for her first book. However, instead of letting failure and hardship discourage her, Rowling trusted her journey and persisted in her dream of writing. She continued to refine her work despite opposition from the world around her. In the end, Harry Potter became one of the best-selling book series of all time, and made Rowling one of the most famous authors in the world. J.K. Rowling's story is a living testament to trusting your own plan, overcoming fear, and not needing external validation to affirm your worth. Number 9. Celebrating your progress. Confidence does not only come from great victories or achievements that we attain in the eyes of others. In fact, true confidence comes from our ability to recognize and celebrate even the smallest steps forward, sometimes even when no one else sees them. Every step, every decision, whether big or small, signals progress and growth. One of the most important things to remember when building confidence is to celebrate your successes, no matter how small. Instead of focusing on what is still lacking, honor the achievements you have made, even if they are not perfect. This action not only helps you recognize the right steps you have taken, but also reinforces your belief in yourself. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote reminds us that every situation in life can be viewed from different perspectives. While we may not control everything that happens, we can absolutely control how we face and handle it. Confidence is not about achieving perfection in everything. It's about being prepared, learning, and growing throughout the journey. Each of us has unique gifts and talents. God created everyone with a purpose and a distinct path. And when we embrace this uniqueness, we not only become more confident, but also unleash our full potential. Comparing yourself to others only makes you feel like a failure and insignificant. This feeling causes you to lose confidence in yourself rather than focusing on the strengths you possess. You may not be perfect, but that is what makes you different and special. Don't let meaningless comparisons cause you to miss out on the chance to shine in your own way. Moreover, perfection is actually an illusion. We often torment ourselves for not achieving the goals or expectations we set, but the truth is the journey is never perfect. Waiting for everything to be perfect before starting will only lead to procrastination and missed opportunities. Remember, confidence doesn't come from everything being perfect, but from stepping out of your comfort zone and testing yourself, knowing that things won't always go smoothly. Setting boundaries and protecting your energy is also an essential element in building confidence. You need to learn how to say no when necessary to protect your time and energy, instead of getting swept up in the demands and expectations of others. This helps you maintain focus on your goals and recognize your own successes without being influenced by external factors. Don't forget that preparation also plays a key role. You will always feel more confident when you have thoroughly prepared for challenging situations. A prime example of celebrating small but significant successes is the story of Michael Jordan. One of the basketball legends, Jordan faced numerous failures and challenges throughout his career. But instead of focusing only on his failures, he learned from each mistake, prepared better for the next opportunity, and celebrated every small victory. His approach to challenges built a strong, confident mindset, proving that confidence doesn't come from perfection, but from the ability to rise after each failure and keep moving forward. Confidence is not a privilege reserved for a select few. It is a skill that everyone can develop. Start by celebrating your progress, no matter how small, and believe that every step will bring you closer to the best version of yourself. We've explored together why being too kind may not always be a good thing. Always putting others' needs above your own can leave you feeling exhausted, deprived, and even taken advantage of. The year 2025 is the perfect time for you to start setting clear boundaries and knowing when to say no. Respecting yourself and your mental health is more important than ever. So, what do you think about changing your behavior in this new year? Do you find it difficult to learn how to say no? Please share your thoughts in the comments below this video. If you found this post helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out on our upcoming interesting videos. Keep following us for more useful tips. Thank you for this time spent seeking wisdom. If you want to delve deeper into Stoicism, there are other videos waiting for you. Live in harmony with nature, meet difficulties with a clear mind, and let your path be realized. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that your life will burn brightly, and see you soon, young Mark Aurelius.